So recap. In chapter 8, we learned that if you have a right angle triangle, and then remember we have A, B, and C. C being your hypotenuse. Okay, Pythagoras theorem states that you will have C square equals to A square plus B square. So this is what we have learned in chapter 8.1. Oh, you don't have the notes? Oh, okay. Okay, next, it's the opposite direction. That means what if I never give you a right angle triangle, but I gave you that the three sides are 3, 4, and 5. And then you prove to me that, let's say, AC square is 5 square, which is 25. And then I go and check AB square plus BC square, which is 3 square plus 4 square, which is also 25. So if I'm not told there is a right angle triangle, but I can prove that AB square plus BC square is AC square, therefore by converse, the opposite direction of Pythagoras theorem, it proved to me that ABC must be a right angle triangle. So this is what we have learned in chapter 8. So this is chapter 8. What we know about right angle triangle. I tell you it's 90 degree. Then C square equals to A square plus B square. Okay, 8.2 we learned that if I never tell you it's a right angle triangle, but I give you all three sides, and I realize that the square of the longest length is the sum of the squares of the other two sides, then I conclude it must be a right angle triangle. So two direction we have done. Okay, so what is new for chapter 9?
Tan, cos, and theta.
Yes, is that when? Okay, can notice in chapter 8 we have not talked about angles at all. Okay, we have not talked about angles at all. So what happens is this. First thing first, the most important thing is you need to know how to label the sides. So we all know that the longest length opposite the 90 degree is called what? Hypotenuse. Okay, called hypotenuse. So we label it as H. Okay, this one is the important part. Listen, Holden, Liam. Okay, so the side opposite to the right angle is called hypotenuse. This is the first thing you need to know. Second, you must always decide on the angle first. Always decide on the angle. And then the side that is next to it. The side that is next to the marked angle is called the adjacent side, because it is adjacent to the marked angle. So this is called the adjacent side. Next to the marked angle, this is called the marked angle. The chosen angle. Okay? And then of course, the last side, the yellow side, is opposite my marked angle. So I call it the opposite side. Okay? So these three magical letters, we put them together in Chinese. Okay, it means how. Okay, it means very good. So before we can find the trigo ratios, we need to always label the how. H-A-O, not H-O-W. So H-A-O. So these three are the most important thing. I can always find my H, but my A and O is dependent on where my mark angle is. I don't have the mark angle, I cannot tell. I don't know where is the adjacent side. Because my side has to be beside my angle, right? So if you never tell me which angle it is, I cannot find my A, I cannot find my O. So this is the most important thing, remember that. Okay, so this one fill in the blank is just opposite side. Okay, so let's have that common understanding. With that, let's try to label the sides in the example 1. Okay, all copied already? Not yet. Right, following? Okay, good. Keegan, don't look at the screen, ah. Okay, Holden, are you alive? Okay, good.
No.
Barely. Okay. Yeah, but it is all linked. I will do a recap and you realize everything is linked together, so don't be scared. Because we are nearing the end. Yeah. Mark angle. Okay? Can I? Okay, next. This one. So the easy thing is 90 degree is always opposite. Okay, let me use the red color. It's always opposite my hypotenuse. So this is always hypotenuse. The longer side. So let's label it hypotenuse. Hypotenuse. Okay, hypotenuse. Okay, listen Shh. In order to determine where's my adjacent side, where should my mark angle be? Where should angle X be? Top or bottom? Is it the top one or the bottom one? My adjacent side should always be next to my angle. Remember that. So this is my adjacent side, my adjacent side, my adjacent side. Where should my mark angle be for the first diagram? Top or bottom? Top, So X must be here in order for this to be adjacent to it.
Staple.
By right, yes. Okay. What about second diagram? Left or right? Is my mark angle left or right? Right, correct. So that it is adjacent to this. Okay, what about part C? Should my mark angle be left or right? Left or right? Yeah, right. So that is adjacent to it. Okay, and then you will notice that the yellow side is always opposite my mark angle. Okay, so this is important. If you mess up your H, A, and O, then your ratio will always be wrong. Okay, your ratio will always be wrong. Okay, so next thing So next thing, mathematicians, they like to play ratios, they like to find a pattern. So they say, oh, what if I find the ratios of all the three sides of a triangle? So what is one possibility? Can I find the ratio of O and H? Opposite and hypotenuse? Can I find the ratio between them? I can, right? What about another pair? What other ratio can I find? What other ratio can I find between the three sides of a triangle? Adjacent and hypotenuse. Okay, what else can I find? Opposite over adjacent. Then of course I can reverse lah, right? I can say, oh, I want adjacent over opposite, can or not? Can I find adjacent? No, hypotenuse over adjacent. Okay, then can I find opposite and hypotenuse ratio? So these are all the six possible combinations of ratio I can find. But these two are just opposite of each other. So I'm not so worried about it. But then they come up with a function to relate to this. So they think, oh, maybe this is OH. So maybe let's call this sine. Let's call this sine ratio. So they say, let's call this sine of the marked angle equals to this. Let's call this the sine ratio. The mathematician came up with it. They just decided that, oh, let's call this sine ratio. So that's why so. Okay, so okay, and then they came up with AH. And then they say, how about we call this cosine ratio? So that's why they come up with KAH. KAH. Okay, and then lastly, they say, how about I call the last set of ratio tangent? So then they say, oh, this is tangent of the angle X. It's O over A. So it's TOA. So they call this, okay, Toa, like Toa Payoh. Okay, remember it's not Tao, not Tao Payoh, it's Toa, TOA. So when you spell, spell correctly, because if you spell wrongly, you are finding another ratio. Okay, if you spell wrongly, you are finding another ratio. So actually, right, if you go and learn A Math next year, okay, if you learn A Math next year, you will learn that this is called the cosecant ratio. You will learn that this is called the secant ratio. Okay, you will learn that this is called the cotangent ratio. But if you never learn A Math, then you don't learn these three. Okay? Those who are taking A Math next year will see cosecant, secant, and cotangent. But it is just the opposite of these three ratios. Reverse only. Okay, reverse only. So this year we are only learning these three. Why is it called Tua Kaso? They just like it. The person who created it is right to come out with anything. So they came up with Tua Ka So. Very apt in Singapore because it means big food auntie. Okay, Ka in dialect is food. Big is Tua, right? And then So is auntie. Like they call auntie called Aso, right? So it's big food auntie. So Tua Ka So. But of course, if you want to be a little bit like Western vibe, then you say Soka Tua. Right? So it's up to you, but as long as you remember how to spell it, that's the important thing. Okay? So that's how they came up with this. Why must there always be an angle? Because if there's no angle, there's no adjacent and opposite side. So you have to match it with an angle. No angle, no adjacent, no opposite. So we cannot proceed with the ratio. So this one very important. It is always married with an angle. Your tangent, cosine, and sine function. Okay, so let's see. Can I open this? Triangles are similar. Okay, so how does the above result in trigo ratios only depending on the angle? Because the sine A, cosine A, and tangent A will not change if the angle A don't change. So for as long as your angle here don't change, right, no matter how big you increase it or how small you reduce it, the sine ratio, the cosine ratio, and the tangent ratio will not change value as long as your angle A don't change. Okay, remember that. Okay, and then ratio don't have units. So this one just take note. We will not have units for ratio. Can? So that's how they came up with trigo ratio. So let's see how to calculate. One example only. What happened? Nathaniel, you crying?
Yeah, they're
He was crying because I'm sad that if angle A changes, working will not be the same.
Oh, wow. Mathematicians in the making because you feel sad about angles. Okay. Okay, so look at this. Remember, first of all, it must be a right angle triangle. So the right angle there is missing. Can you help me put in? If not right angle, I cannot solve. Okay, and then because they give you your mark angle, you know we are referring to angle A. So once you have the angle, you can start labeling your how. Yes. So where is my H in the first triangle? Which one is H? 5. Which one is my adjacent? Yes, because it's next to the angle. So this will be O. So if I want to find sine of the angle A, remember sine is so, right? So it's O divided by H. So 4, 5. This is the ratio I want. 4:5. They say give it as fraction, so leave it as fraction. Don't give me 4:5, give me as fraction. Okay, what about cosine? Cosine is car. So what is the value of car? A over H. What is my A? What is my H? 3/5. Okay, last one is Toa Payoh. If you forget, remember Toa. So tangent of the angle A is O over A. What is it? 4/3. That's it. Like that you get 3 marks. So please label your how correctly so that your sine, cosine, tangent is correct. Okay, we try one more. Where is the hypotenuse in part B? 13. It's always opposite the 90 degree. Where is my adjacent side? 5, because it's next to my angle. Okay, and then this one will become O. Right, if this one following, this one can score marks on. So remember, the longest side opposite 90 is H. The length beside my mark angle is A. And then this is opposite. So sine is so. What is O over H? What is O over H? 12/13. Okay, cosine is car. So remember, must match with the angle. Cosine A is A over H. What is it? 5/13. Last one, tangent is Toa. O over A. So just like that, follow the HAO and then your sine cosine ratio will be out. Okay? Okay, I'm going to look at A. So A only focus on that small triangle. I just bring it out. So that small triangle, I want my mark angle to be ACN. So I go and mark it out. This is my mark angle. So where's my H? Where's my A? Where's my O? Where's H? AC. Where is A? Next to, and then this is opposite. So question wants me to find sine of this angle. How? What is sine? So, right? So means O over H. But I don't have H. How? I don't have H. Use Pythagoras theorem. So H square is 12 square plus 5 square. Just take a square root. So you will get 13. So actually this part is 13. So you can find it easily. That is where your chapter 8 comes in. Okay, 12 over 13. Okay, next. I want to look at the angle BAN. BAN is here. This is my mark angle. I'm looking at the big triangle, ignoring the line in between. So, I label my H, A, and O. Where's H? Always the longest length opposite the 90. Where is adjacent side? Because it's next to the angle. And then this is my O. So I want cosine. Cosine is car. So what is A over H? A is 12 and H is 20. So remember, give me lowest term. So you will get 3/5. If you prefer decimal, also okay. See what is better for you. Oh, but they say fraction, so don't. They say leave it as a fraction, right? So leave it as this. Yeah. One last one. Let me finish this up. Wait. Last part. Very last one. Okay, this one I delete. Yeah, I know. Not yet.
I'm doing with you.
I know.
Yay.
Awkward.
Yeah.
Okay, ABN is this angle. So because my angle has changed, where's my... Oh, I took the wrong one. Okay, listen. Shh. Just now my angle was this one. Now my angle changed to ABN here. So remember, when your angle change, your adjacent change. So this is H, A, and O. How to find TOA? Tangent ABN is O over A. So O is 12. A is 16. So I get 3/4. Okay? Okay, they are called trigonometry ratios. You can just remember the spelling so that you know which ratio we are talking about. So in a right angle triangle, we always can identify the H for hypotenuse. Okay, this is always known to us. But the adjacent and opposite side is dependent on the mark angle. So this is our mark angle. So sometimes they label it as theta. This is a symbol they use to represent angle. Or sometimes they just use X. So sometimes you see they use this. Sometimes they just use X. So it's just a symbol for angles. Okay? Weng Yu, you ready? Okay, once you have the mark angle, then you can decide the adjacent side. Because adjacent is always next to the mark angle. So adjacent side and the opposite side. Okay? So without the mark angle, there's no A, there's no O. So this one, be careful. Ready or not? Holden and Nathaniel. Okay, so then we realize that we can find the ratio of these three sides by finding the ratio between O and H. Okay, between O and A. And then between A and H. So these are the ratios of three of the sides of the triangle. And they just decide to relate it with these three ratios called the sine of the angle, tangent of the angle, and cosine of the angle. So they just decided to call this SO, the SO ratio, the TOA ratio, and the CA ratio. So that's why it's TOA-CA-SO. So remember, this sign must always be matched with the angle. Without the angle, we have no adjacent side, we have no opposite, and then this becomes nonsense. So they are always a pair. They are always a pair. You must write them together. You cannot write sine is OH. Nonsense. No such thing. Must have angle. So yesterday we say that same triangle that we have, using the same angle, if you make it bigger, it will be a similar triangle, and the ratio of the side will still be the same, because H, this H and the new H, being similar triangles, will have the same ratio as this O and this O. Because remember, we learned that similar triangles, no matter how you enlarge it, they always follow a enlargement scale factor or a reduction scale factor. So if the angle don't change, no matter how big you pull the triangle to be, the ratio of the sides will be the same. The only thing that can change the ratio is if you make the angle bigger. For example, I tilt this arm and I make this triangle bigger now. Then of course my H will change, my O will change, my adjacent will change. Then my ratio change. So if you make your angle bigger and you start dragging, then of course your ratio will be different from the original one you see. So angle change, ratio change. Angle don't change, no matter how you make the triangle bigger, it's still the same ratio. So remember that, huh? Okay, so this is all that we have learned yesterday. Today we learn calculator skills. Today we learn calculator skills. So take out your calculator now. Make sure at the top of your calculator it's... Where is my calculator? At the top of your calculator, where you on it, okay, the top part, this one, okay, I pull it out so that you can see. This one, this thing here that you see there should be a degree. Must be D. If it's not D, you are in the wrong mode. So how to change it to D? Okay, let me show you. So can you see that it is in R mode now? If yours is in D, no problem. But you can shift, set up. Can you see angle unit? Choose 2. And then they ask you, you want degree, radian or gradient? So you will only learn radian mode in Sec 3 next year. Chapter 9. Okay? In fact, Chapter 7 you also learn. So now we should be in degree mode. So press 1. Can you see? It should be D. Not R, not G. Change to D. This one super important. Okay, then we are done. Okay, so this part here should be a D. Okay, next, we want to know how to use calculator for this part. So once you are in degree mode, then you just press sine 57 degree. Just press sine 57 and equal. What do you get? Then a string of number, right? But they say give me in 3SF. So it's 0.839. Okay, can you do all the rest of the 5 parts now? Quickly calculate on your own.
0.839, 0.841.
This one? 0. What?
841.
841 3SF. Next one.
0.193.
This one.
11.5. We already calculated that.
Okay, notice that there's no units because these are ratios. Ratios has no units. Doing? Okay, this one is just calculator work. You must do easy one. 0.835. Okay, 1.23. Okay, double check. Make sure you can press calculator with no problem. Okay, the next part is what if they ask you to find the angle instead. That means they don't want sine. They don't want sine of the angle. They want the angle. So you need to do this thing called separate out the sine to the other side. When you shift sine over, it becomes sine inverse. So I'm going to show you how to press this on the calculator. Okay, becomes sine inverse, power -1. This is called sine inverse. Okay, sine inverse. Same thing here. Can you repeat all the same for the rest? Do your own calculation now. Go and calculate all of this. Okay, go and calculate all of this. Okay, these are the answers you should have. Okay, so all these calculator skills are, remember if they ask you to find degree or to find the angle, you leave your answer to 1 decimal place. Okay, leave your final answer. Okay, and then this part here, ratio has no units. Okay, this one because it's angle, the unit is degree. You shift, then the cosine inverse. Which one? Oh, so shift, shift tangent. So tangent inverse. Okay, no matter what, shift cosine, shift tangent, shift sine will give you the inverse. So always use the shift button to help you. Okay, so when you press shift followed by sine, you are calling out shift power -1, cosine power -1, and tangent power -1. Okay, so this one is the calculator skills. Can or not? Okay, can so let's move on to real examples. Now that we know how to calculate already, so if this is the triangle that you are given, first thing you do is label your how. Okay, label the how. So where is H? Where is your hypotenuse? 18. Where is your adjacent? At the bottom, and then O is this. So first thing you ask yourself is, I have tua, ka, so. So I want to find O, and I have H. So which ratio should I use? OH. Which ratio should I use? So this one, right? Because I have H, I want to find O. So how do I set up the ratio? Sine of the angle is opposite over hypotenuse. So my opposite is X. My hypotenuse is 18. So with that, I can solve for my X. I cross multiply. Okay, so always look at what info you have and what you want to find. So this is what you want to find. Okay, and then this is what you have. So with the H and the O, you must use this ratio. Can I use tangent or cosine? I can, but just that I will end up finding this one. So if I find this, then you need to Pythagoras theorem this, 2 steps. So up to you how hard you want to work, okay? Can? Done? Not done? Not yet. Hold on, you're doing the right thing. Okay? I haven't. Can anyone else? Yes. Yes. It's tester. This is the last chapter that's going into your WA3. Okay, Dana? Okay, next one. Look at the triangle. Always right angle one. First thing you do is what? First step. What is the first step? Not right angle triangle can. Sec 3 you learn sine rule, cosine rule. Then you can. Okay, first step, no matter what, label your how. So hypotenuse is always opposite my 90 degree. Where is my adjacent side? Where is my adjacent side? Beside the angle. So this is my adjacent side. So this is my opposite. So using Tua Kaso, I need to decide on one ratio to use. So I look, I have H. I want to find A. So which ratio should I use? Ka. Okay, so which ratio should I use? I must use Ka. TJ, listening? Hey, Gabriel not here. What's here behind this? Gabriel not here. 2, 24, 26, 28, 29. 2 missing, Arjun and Gabriel. Okay, so I'm using Ka. So let's set up the ratio. First is the cosine. Cosine of the angle must be equal to adjacent, which is x, over hypotenuse, which is 37. So again, put over 1 and cross multiply. So 3SF 16.2. Okay, so remember, identify what you have and what you want to find. Okay, last one. Again, Tua, Ka, and So. Remember the spelling is important. Okay, so first step, what do I do? What's the first step? Label the how. So this is H. This is adjacent to my angle. This is opposite. So once you have how, you decide. This is what I have, my O. This is what I want to find, my A. So OA means I use Tua. Okay, so I will set up my equation. Tangent goes with the angle always. It's opposite over my adjacent, which is X. Okay, so take note. In order to solve, I need to bring up my X and and then bring my tangent 55 down. So I can say I swap their position. Instead of multiplying up and then later divide over, I'm swapping their position. So x is 18 over tangent 55. Okay, this can work also. Or if you want to work harder, you multiply the x up first. Then next step, you bring the tangent 55 down. Also the same. Or you can swap. Okay, or you can swap. 12.6. 3SF. Okay.
Why is it not x over 18?
Why is it? Because it's 12 is O over A. So O must go first, then A goes next.
Okay.
So the spelling very important. Okay, remember if you swap A over O, right, it becomes cotangent already. That one you learn in A Math next year, not this year. So it's OA. Tua payo, not tau payo. So this one spelling wrong, don't do wrongly. So this is O over A. Okay, and then if you look at the calculator T, right, it is always a small letter T. Don't write like that. There's no tan function with capital letter T. It is always a small t. So don't go and anyhow capital letter. Okay, I'm going to teach you all a shortcut. Okay, a shortcut. Okay, a shortcut. Without using Tuakaso, you can find the length very quickly. Okay, this one is a shortcut if your hypotenuse is given to you. Okay, so for example, this triangle, this right angle triangle. Sometimes they don't give you the right angle because they already tell you it's a rectangle. You should know it's a right angle. So they purposely never draw. Okay, so first thing first, when you have a right angle triangle and when your hypotenuse is given to you, the adjacent side of the triangle is always tangent cosine of this angle. Okay, later I prove to you that it's always true, okay? So if you have a right angle triangle and you have hypotenuse, the adjacent side is always tangent cosine 36. Okay? The opposite side is always tangent sine 36. Always true. Okay? If you don't believe, let's try to find it. This is H. This is A. This is O. So for example, my H is known to me and I want to find A, right? I use cosine. So cosine 36 degree is A over my H 10. Can you see that A is 10 cosine 36? Okay, this is always true. Okay, however, if I have H and I want to find O, I use sine. So sine 36 degree is O over H, which is 10. Can you see that O is always 10 sine 36? So what I'm trying to tell you is, any right angle triangle, if you have the hypotenuse, the adjacent side is always hypotenuse cosine angle. The opposite side is always hypotenuse sine angle. This is a shortcut that you can use for trigo calculation for your physics next time when you find resultant vectors. Okay? Remember, you all will find like resultant force. Haven't? Maybe Sec 3 you will learn resultant force. Like your force going this direction, another force going in this direction, the resultant force goes this way. Okay, so this one, you all will learn like your force going this way, then somebody hits you here, right? You will end up going diagonal. Okay, so that one physics will teach you, but you need to find resultant force. Okay, but this is just a quick shortcut. Okay, why? Because question wants you to find length BC. So BC will just be 10 sine 36. So you press calculator, 5.8779. Okay, you give me 3SF. Okay, part B, they want me to find length AB. So I know it's 10 cosine 36. This one is shortcut, but you can use this to find. Use car and use so. This one is the longer way, but that one is the shortcut. So 8.0902. So 3SF is 8.09. Then finally they say, can you find the area, which is length times breadth? Okay, take note. If you want to find area, don't use this. Don't use the rounded off answer. Use the most exact one. So length times breadth. Because if you use the rounded off answer, your final answer will be a little bit off accuracy. So 47.5528. So 3SF. Okay, the next three example 3, 4, 5. Can I give you the next 8 minutes? Probably, okay, 10 minutes to do example 3, 4, 5 on your own now before we go through. So we will resume at 54. Okay, do example 3, 4, 5 yourself first. Where got 6, 7? 3, 4, 5. Try on your own. 3, 4, 5. Okay, try, you got to practice, then you know you don't know or you know. Don't wait until I quiz you, then I find out. Huh? Oh, sure. My how? My H is always this one. This is my adjacent side. This is opposite. So we look at the information that they give us. I have O. I have A. So which ratio should I use? O and A. Which one? O and A use which ratio? Hold on. Which ratio? Why you stick out your tongue? This one, right? So tangent of the angle. This time round I don't have the angle, but they say it's angle XZY. So I leave it as angle XZY. It's opposite over adjacent. So I write down everything I know first. So now this is the unknown that I want to find. So this is the unknown now. So just now I told you all before, if you want to find the angle, you need to remove the tangent to the other side. So XZY is tangent inverse 3/4. So go and press calculator, that's all. So remember 1 decimal place, so 36.9. 1 dp. This one is angle, so don't give me 3SF, give me 1 dp. So everything is the same, except now, this is the unknown angle I want to solve. TJ copying or not? Are you copying? Are you sure yes? Okay, so the only difficult thing is finding angle. Remember to remove the tangent and make it inverse. That's the only thing you need to remember. Okay, next example. 2. This one, I want to find BE. Let me redraw this thing. Not redraw, copy. Okay, let me copy this. I want to ignore the details inside. So that means let's assume that all these don't exist. Question wants me to find BE. So just now I told you the shortcut, right? The base is 4.5. Cosine 28 degree. The height is 4.5 sine 28. But if you don't want to do this way, just go and use your SO ratio. Okay? So BE is just 4.5 sine 28. Okay, this one I need to calculate the final answer because they asked for this. So 3SF. But later if you need to use this part, use this. Don't use the rounded off one. Okay, next. Now my mission is to find the angle EFB, this one. So I'm going to extract this triangle one more time. So that you can just focus on this one for part B. So if this is the triangle now, hypotenuse, adjacent, and opposite. I have O, I have A. What should I use? Which ratio has O and A? Which ratio? The tangent, right? The TOA. So tangent of the angle I want to find, which is EFB, is opposite over adjacent. So my opposite is this. My adjacent is 2.3. Don't use this value because this value has been rounded off. You don't want to lose accuracy. Use the actual one. So use this one. Okay, use the more actual one. If you don't want to use this, at least use the 5 significant figure one. Never use this one because this one rounded off already. Okay, so how to find the angle? I don't want the tangent, so what to do? Bring it over, change it into a tangent inverse function. Okay, you should get the angle to be 42.568. Okay, so very, very friendly. Okay, last one wants me to find AF. So AF, I can find it easily by using the long length AB minus the 2.3. So part C, AF is just AB minus FB. So my AB I found from here is 4.5 cos 28 degree. My FB is 2.3. Okay, so next year when you go Sec 3, right, the first part of chapter 7.1 is this. They will say, oh, in Sec 2 you have learned this, Tuakaso, Pythagoras theorem. They recap 7.1. Okay, then they teach you new things. Okay, so your homework is the last 3 ABC at the back. Do I still see you all tomorrow? I know. Okay, then I give you all the homework for the weekend tomorrow. So today is just ABC. 3 simple one. You want to do now also can. Got 3 minutes, 1 minute each. So you got no homework.
No homework. 没有作业。
Just the ABC, yes. So today just do this ABC. Tomorrow we go through, I give you your assignment. And then we are done for WA3 topics. We will start revision and do your A is O over H. So in order to find the angle, what should I do, Raif? To find the angle, I need to get rid of the sign. So what should I do? Inverse. Bring over and inverse. The rest is press calculator. So how to press that? You press shift, followed by sign, and then press 9 over 10. What's the answer? 64.16. So 64.2. 1 dp. Okay, next better player. Zheng Yue. You look like you are staring into the air. Where is H, A, and O? Okay, very good. Okay, I have A and H. So, TJ, I have A and H. Which ratio should I use? Casa. Ayo. Your pronunciation very scary. So cosine theta is A over H. So cosine inverse 5 over 6. What's the answer? So 23.6. 1 dp. 33. Okay, ugly but it's fine. Okay, last one. Nathaniel. Where is my H, A, and O? Where's H? Nathaniel, where's H? Where's A? Okay, then O is here. Okay, I have A and O. Which ratio should I use? Which ratio should I use, Fial? I have O and A. Which one? Tangent OA. So tangent of the angle is 11 over 11. So if you take tangent inverse of 11 over 11, you get a very nice number, 45. So if it's exact, don't die put 0.0. Just like that. So your homework question, you could have finished in 5 minutes, but you never do. What? What did he say?